Many people show love the way humans naturally do, with expensive beds, organic treats, cuddles, kisses, and constant affection. And all of that usually comes from a good place. But here is the shift that changes everything. Dogs do not experience love through human culture. They do not understand money, luxury, or the emotional symbolism we attach to gifts. A dog does not lie on a costly bed and think I must be deeply loved. What they understand is something older, simpler, and far more biological: safety, predictability, calm, touch, shared rhythm, and the feeling that their world makes sense. That is why some human gestures can be misunderstood. A kiss on the face, for example, may feel sweet to us, but to a dog it can be confusing, intrusive, or even slightly stressful, especially if the dog has not clearly invited that closeness. In the canine world, love is not usually expressed through face-to-face pressure. It is expressed through trust-based proximity, relaxed body language, mutual regulation, and the freedom to choose connection without force. And that is the real beauty of understanding dogs. The more we stop treating them like furry little humans, the more deeply we can love them for who they actually are. A dog's love language was shaped long before modern homes existed. It comes from thousands of years of evolutionary biology, from pack safety, emotional attunement, and the instinct to feel secure within a trusted relationship. So if you truly want your dog to feel loved, the question is not, what would make sense to me? The question is, what helps my dog feel safe, understood, and at peace? That is where real connection begins. For dogs, love does not begin with words. It begins with scent. A dog's world is built through smell more than sight, which is why a worn t-shirt or hoodie carrying your natural scent can feel deeply comforting when left near their bed. Brain imaging research has shown that the scent of a familiar human activates the canine caudate nucleus, a reward-related brain region, more strongly than other scents. In simple terms, your smell can feel like emotional safety. To your dog, that piece of clothing is not dirty laundry. It is something much closer to an olfactory hug. Well-being in TL Studies Repository. The same logic explains the power of a sniffery walk. From a human point of view, a walk is often about exercise, pace, and distance. From a dog's point of view, it is an information-gathering expedition. Veterinary guidance describes sniffing walks as a form of mental enrichment that lets dogs process their environment through scent, instead of being rushed from point A to point B. So when you let your dog stop, investigate, and read the world, you are not slowing the walk down. You are finally making it meaningful for them. VCA. And then there is choice. Dogs live most of their lives inside human decisions, so even small moments of autonomy matter. Reviews of animal welfare show that choice and control support psychological well-being. That is why consent-based touch is so important. A practical version of this is the 3-second rule. Pet your dog gently for 3 seconds, then pause. If they lean in, nudge you, or ask for more, continue. If they turn away or stay still, respect that answer. It is not rejection, it is communication. And when a dog learns that no is safe, trust becomes stronger, not weaker. Frontiers. So maybe real canine love is simpler than we think. Your scent nearby, a walk that lets them use their nose, and a human who knows when to stop. Here's the deeper truth many dog owners never get taught. Love is not just something a dog feels emotionally. It is something they feel physically through the nervous system. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to the emotional climate around them. When the home is calm, predictable, and steady, their body relaxes. When the home is full of yelling tension or chronic stress, they feel that too. Not because they understand human problems the way we do, but because dogs are experts at reading tone, posture, breathing, movement, and emotional energy. Over time, your state becomes part of their state. That is why calm is not just a personality trait around dogs. It is a form of protection. And that protection becomes even more important when life feels overwhelming. Every dog needs a place that belongs completely to them. A quiet corner, a crate, a bed, a little den, where no one grabs them, bothers them, or reaches in without invitation. In evolutionary terms, this matters because animals recover from stress by withdrawing to safety. So when you protect that space, you are doing more than giving your dog a spot to lie down. You are telling their nervous system there is somewhere in this world where you never have to defend yourself. That kind of safety changes a dog from the inside out. And then there are the hardest moments: thunderstorms, vet visits, illness, aging, fear. In those moments, your dog is not looking for perfect words. They are looking for presence. For many dogs, the person they trust most becomes the emotional anchor that helps them endure what they do not understand. Maybe that is why one of the greatest acts of love is simply staying. Staying in the room when they are afraid. Staying close when their body is tired. Staying gentle when life becomes confusing. And if that day ever comes, staying beside them in their final moments, so they do not have to leave this world feeling abandoned or alone. Because in the end, real love is not loud. It is steady. It is safe. It says you do not have to go through this by yourself. If this message touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who truly loves their dog. And in the comments, tell me what is one way your dog lets you know that your presence makes them feel safe. Love for a dog is not just something they feel in the heart. It is something they feel in the nervous system. Dogs are deeply affected by the emotional state of the people they live with. Research shows that dog-owner pairs can become physiologically and emotionally linked with signs of co-modulation in stress and regulation. In simple terms, when your home feels tense, rushed, or loud, your dog often feels that in their body too. And when your presence is calm, steady, and predictable, that calm can become a kind of emotional shelter for them. So, one of the most practical ways to love a dog is not always doing more. Sometimes it is learning how to bring less chaos into the room. PMC. That is also why every dog needs a place that belongs completely to them. Not a decorative bed people step over. Not a corner where children keep reaching in. A real safe haven. AKC Guidance describes crates and similar enclosed spaces too as protective shelters where dogs can rest and relax, and Other Behavior Guidance recommends giving dogs a calm place to go when they feel overwhelmed by noise or stress. When you create a rule that no one touches your dog in that space, you are doing something profoundly respectful. You are honoring an ancient recovery instinct, the need to withdraw, reset, and feel unreachable for a while. American Kennel Club. And then there are the hardest moments of all: thunderstorms, illness, vet visits, and the final season of life. In stressful situations, dogs often look to their caregiver as a secure base. That bond matters even more when the world feels confusing or frightening. And at the end of life, presence becomes one of the deepest gifts we can offer. Lap of Love's Euthanasia Guidance specifically notes that families can hold their pet, stroke them, and talk to them during the process, helping create a peaceful and familiar goodbye. Sometimes love is not fixing the fear. Sometimes love is simply staying in the room, so they do not have to face it alone. PMC. So maybe real love from a dog's point of view sounds less like "I adore you" and more like this: you are safe with me. You can rest here. I'm not leaving. If this message touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who truly loves their dog. And in the comments, tell me, what is one thing you do that helps your dog feel safe? One of the easiest mistakes dog owners make is taking sudden withdrawal personally. Your dog stops wanting the walk they used to love. They turn away from touch. They ignore your scent, your voice, or the little routines that used to light them up. From a human point of view, that can feel heartbreaking. It can feel like distance, mood, or even rejection. But from an evolutionary point of view, dogs are built to hide weakness. Pain in dogs often shows up as behavior change, long before it looks like obvious injury. And veterinary guidance lists things like reluctance to move, avoiding certain activities, growling when touched, and reduced engagement as common signs that something physical may be wrong. VCA. That is why sudden isolation should never be brushed off as just attitude. In older dogs, especially withdrawal can also point to canine cognitive dysfunction, which may show up as changes in interaction, sleep, confusion, house training problems, or a general loss of interest in normal routines. It does not always arrive dramatically. Sometimes it begins quietly with a dog who seems just a little less present than before. AAHAA. So if your dog suddenly starts avoiding walks, refusing touch, hiding more, or acting unlike themselves, try to shift the question. Not, why is my dog pulling away from me? But what might my dog be struggling to carry silently? Because very often, the behavior is not the problem. It is the symptom. And in that moment, love means responding like a guardian, not taking it like an insult. Call your veterinarian. Pay attention early. Trust the change. If this helped you see your dog a little more clearly, please like, subscribe, and share this video with another dog lover. And in the comments, tell me what subtle behavior change made you realize your dog was trying to tell you something important.